All right, pregame thoughts, Padres and the Twins. Padres, they're trying to sweep the Twins out of San Diego today. Not a 110 start, usually on Wednesday afternoons, or most Wednesdays, it feels like. 340. They've done this throughout the year. I feel like it's to have the bigger attendance, have like half days off, allow kids to be able to go to the games. And so we'll see what the crowd's going to look like today at Petco. Matt Waldron on the mound for the Padres. Woods Richardson gets the start for the Minnesota Twins. Waldron, yeah, he has not been pitching as good as he was before mid-June, since mid-June. But the good news is this offense is scoring runs. It's not like it was that recent stretch, right? The Miami stretch, they weren't scoring a ton of runs. They were getting by, but not scoring like as many runs as they scored, for example, like yesterday. So it's there. It's not the it's not the worst time to have Matt Waldron start here today. And he's done it plenty of times before this season, going 6 innings and not just keeping the Padres in the game, but being a big reason why the Padres go win that game. So he can still do it, and we'll see if he can be effective today. His pitch mix, I'm going to be interested in seeing what that is going to look like. How often does he go to that knuckleball? How often is he using his other pitches? The location, obviously. He has gotten into trouble a little bit, missing some spots, as a lot of pitchers in baseball obviously do. So we'll see. The bullpen, Suarez has pitched the last couple of nights. Same thing with Tanner Scott. So it is going to be interesting to see who ends up closing today. I believe that Adrian Marjon is going to be good to go today. And so I expect him, if the Padres have a lead, he will be in one of those high leverage innings. Same thing with Jeremiah Estrada. He has had a few days off. So I would expect it to be Estrada, Marjon, and then probably Jason Adam as the three that the Padres go to. You can add in Brian Hoeing as well, but really those three late in a game, and hopefully Waldron can keep the Padres in this one, and the offense can come back. Maybe not just come back. I'd prefer if they don't have a comeback win today and they just go win. By the way, I did look this morning, and I already posted it on X, Twitter, whatever. Padres comebacks, 44% of their wins this year have been comebacks. Some would say, yeah, that's not the best stat because that's not going to be able to be sustainable. But I don't know. I mean, it's August 21st, and they've been this type of team all year long. They've continued to come back and come back. So, of course, we don't want that to be something every time because you want to be able to work with the lead. It makes it easier probably on the manager and the guys making the decisions on who to play. But I care about winning, and these comeback victories, they have been fun. It has made this team fun to watch. That's part of what has made this team fun to watch. Of course, it's fun for a bunch of blowouts, but I feel like us fans, we're going to remember the comeback victories more than if this team won a bunch of games not close. I think it'd be more of a memorable season with the comeback victory. So to me, I mean, bottom line, they're winning games. They're in a good spot. That's what I care about the most. They're in it in the division race still. Um, they're 72 and 55. They've got the first wild card spot. I like where they're at. Lineup for today. Well, let's start with the Twins. Castro, Larnick, Lewis, Wallner, Santana, Miranda, Edward Julian, Vasquez catching, and then Austin Martin is in center field. Obviously, still no Buxton, no Correa. And then for the Padres, arises at first. Profar, Cronenworth gets a DH day. Manny, Bogaerts, Merrill, Peralta, Higgy, and Wade. Because Cronenworth gets the DH day, that's why I assume that's why they're not going with Donovan Solano. A righty is on the mound, so they're going to go with a lefty and Jake to be DHing there. Although I'm fine with having Solano be at first base. Like, he hits fine against righties as well. Last time I checked, the splits, righty lefties, he's fine against both. But I understand not wanting to take a rise out of the lineup when a righty's on the mound, and then you want the lefty there as well. Just stack lefties at the top with Arise, Profar, and Cronenworth. And then obviously Manny's not going to be out of the lineup. Bogaerts is going to be in the lineup. He's been doing great since coming off the IL. I think he's hitting over 340. Merrill, obviously, you're not taking out. Peralta, you're not taking out. And then Higgy and Campy, both guys are righties. And then Wade at short. That's another thing that I wanted to hit on. Obviously, with Kim on the IL, why isn't Xander Bogaerts at shortstop? Wade's like that weakest part of the lineup, is what I'm seeing from Padres fans. And I understand that. And I'll talk about this probably more on the show later tonight. Not right after the game, but sometime later tonight, we'll do a live show and talk about this Padres, hopefully a sweep coming over the Twins, but it's at least going to be a series win. Um, the shortstop situation, Bogaerts, it's easy for us to say, hey, just go over to the shortstop. You can move Crony to second base, have Solano arise, be at first base. It's fine. You don't need to have the 554 OPS hitter playing shortstop. But, and I understand this from Xander's viewpoint, he has worked so hard to become a better second baseman. He had to deal with the hip issues, because he had been used to shortstop, and second base is obviously different. The feet, running, and I was reading this earlier this morning, running from second base to the outfield on pop ups to the outfield, getting used to that, getting used to the double play turns, just how he's moving his body. And so for him to now go back to shortstop after doing that, he's comfortable now at second base. So he just wants to remain at second base. And I understand that. You know, I think he mentioned this as well, talking to the media. He was a team player moving to second base off of shortstop to be the best defense, at least what the Padres thought was the best defense. So he doesn't want to move back to shortstop while Kim's on the IL. And this could be a 10-day thing. Kim hopes that he's back, by the way, as soon as the 29th. I think that's when he can come off because it's retroactive to a couple days back. Um, so he doesn't want to move there short term. If he was going to move there, I feel like he'd want it to be a long term thing. So I totally understand his viewpoint there. And I don't think Tyler Wade is the worst thing at shortstop. You could bring up the offense, and I understand that. And Kim is starting to get going offensively. But there's other guys in this lineup. Come on, let's be honest here. There's other guys in this lineup that can, carry it and help the Padres win. There is. And Wade can still bring you some value with his speed. And, yesterday, I didn't mention this on my post-game reaction, but yesterday, the mental mess up there on the ball to left, he's running to third base. I think he let it go, and maybe he thought Manny was right behind him when he wasn't. Manny was he was the cutoff man for Profar. If Profar was going to throw it into home, he obviously went to third because he wasn't going to get the guy at home. So there was just some miscommunication there. That's just Tyler Wade not playing shortstop next to Manny every day this season. And so I'm not super worried about that. That feels like that's one of those one-offs, but we'll see. This is what it's going to be. Whether, Schilt's going to say, yep, Wade's our shortstop or not, it sure seems like Wade is going to be the Padres shortstop, and Bogaerts is only going to play shortstop if the Padres have a lead for defense reasons. They want to have Bogaerts at shortstop, or they pinch hit for Wade if they're down, let's say, and they're fine with Bogaerts playing the top of the ninth, let's say, like they did last night, have him go play shortstop, then that's what it's going to be. And I'm fine with that. I appreciate what Bogaerts did for the team at the beginning of the season, moving over to second base, and I understand him not wanting to go back to shortstop when he's worked so hard to be at second base and be his best at second base. And Wade, I don't think is the worst option to have at shortstop. Seems like he's a team guy, gives the effort. That's what I can ask for from someone that's coming off the bench. And Eggy Rosario, he wasn't called up, but maybe he was going to be an option. He's not going to play short. Matthew Batten, he's not really going to play short. He's more of a second base guy. Really, someone that can be maybe a pinch runner or defense at some point. I'm not expecting him to play a bunch. But yeah, that's what I've got. My underdog fantasy pick, by the way, Jackson Merrill, half runs higher. You can get a 1.13 times boost on that today. And then, by the way, there is a special. I was looking on Underdog Fantasy. There's a couple specials here. Kyle Gibson against Milwaukee, 3.5 strikeouts. You could go higher on that. Asia Wilson against the Minnesota Lynx tonight in the W, 21.5 points. I would definitely hammer the higher on that one. No doubt about that. Those are a couple that I saw on Underdog, so you can use those to your advantage. Code Talking Friars on that. You can claim a special pick, and you would get 50% deposit match, not just up to $250. I believe Underdog Fantasy changed that to up to $1,000. So feel free to use that to your advantage.